Hi, everyone. My name is Hunter Nunes. This is Reflect, Improve, and Thrive, where we grow one day at a time. Hi, guys. I hope all of you are having the most epic week ever. Hopefully, you're having a good Monday or just whenever you're listening to this. I am really excited for today's episode because it's going to be a little bit different from how I've done my previous episodes in the past. Essentially, I feel like with all my previous episodes, they've been pretty strategically planned, like very like well thought out. And I had this I did some like digging in and like really trying to make this podcast be very personal to me and my life. I felt like the reason why I even like created this podcast was to use it as an outlet to not only one like help others by sharing my experiences and my perspective, but also I wanted to use this as like therapy for myself to be able to like share my journey and just be very authentic in myself, I guess, online, just because that's just been a big thing that I've always felt like I've always wanted to do. And I felt like it's just been a calling more and more recently. And I want these episodes to be very like what's the best way to put it? Like, really be very honest and vulnerable, I guess. Like, this is purely the topic is something that I'm experiencing at this day, this time of my life. And my other episodes are mainly just going to be like topics that I feel like I'm learning more and more. But like, these ones are going to be more of the like honest and vulnerable conversations, I guess. That's like the best way to put it. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I guess it's just something I wanna do every couple of episodes just to kind of, like, split it out, just have more, like, honest, vulnerable, like, hear what I gotta say, honestly, more of, like, a personal diary type of thing, and then, like, you can take some wisdom out of it, but it's not gonna be, like, entirely focused on, like, gaining something from it. It's mainly just, like, hear perspective and, like, see if you think the same or if it, like, maybe leads to more questions, like thought-provoking questions for yourself, etcetera, you know? And with these episodes too, I do wanna add just so then you can kind of, like, expect that, these episodes might be super short or they might be super long. It really will just depend on the situation, circumstances. It's just again, it's gonna be an honest, vulnerable conversation, and there's no time limit, no expectations. It's just whatever comes out, comes out. I'm gonna try not to edit this episode as much either. I kinda want it to just be like like those YouTube videos, if you see people, like, they, like, film on their, like, laptops, that's, like, the vibe I want, where it's just, like, I'm in my bedroom, and this is what I think, and then shut it off and post it and be like, "Who else agrees?" You know? That's kind of the vibe I want for these. Just more, like, sit down, chill. Yeah. So that's enough of me rambling, but yeah, what this all means. Let me just kinda go straight into what I wanna say. So, I guess a topic I've been really focusing on and just like pondering just because I'm really in this time in my life where I'm introspecting more and more of like what do I value in life? Like what is meaningful to me? What makes life worth living, I guess? Like little like those questions, not like midlife crisis, but more of like I know I want to have more of a direction. Like I want to know who I am and I want to know what I want rather than like living every day being like oh, let's see what happens, you know? Hopefully that makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to be too rigid. I just want to be more, I want to know who I am. I want to know what I want. So, with that, I've been really hyper fixating, I guess. Like, I will say hyper fixating because I've been really like getting into the nitty gritty of like what I want, who I want to be, etc. But just the idea of being your most authentic self and myself, like, what does my most authentic self even look like? How do I want to like, what energy do I wanna bring in this world? What do I wanna leave behind? And I think just something I've been really, like, fixating specifically on this topic is why I people please. That is, like, a really big part of me going on this journey, I feel like it's because 'cause I'm realizing a lot more of how people pleasing has really limited me and my self-expression and my ability to an extent, somewhat connect to others. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm so scared to be exactly who I am because I don't wanna scare others, which is weird because it's like I would never I would never feel that on the other end. I feel like when people are honest in themselves, to me, I always see that as like, "Ah, thank gosh, like, then I can really be myself," you know? But for some reason, it's really hard for me to pull that side out. Like, I feel like I'm almost just a mirror of everyone I interact with. Like, whoever they want me to be, I will be, I guess. And I know that's not healthy because I'm having more questions of like, who am I when no one else is around, you know? And that question is both liberty like, oh, liberating, what? Liberating, but it's also kinda scary to think about because it's like I don't know the answer entirely, and I'm not sure if everyone, like, knows exactly who they want to be, like, when no one else is around. Because I feel like maybe it changes, you know, like, every day I feel like I'm a new person, which let me know in the comments, do y'all feel like that too, or is that just is that just me? 'Cause I really don't know. Um but yeah, that is, like, something I've been really thinking about, and then also another thing, I feel like I maybe touched on this last episode, but just the idea of, like, career, and I've been very career focused as well, like, making more money. I think just, like, living in this world, it's something I, like, think about a lot, and I think growing up too, I didn't like I don't know, I guess, like, I grew up with, like, really good experiences and everything. However, I didn't, like, grow up with the right mindset when it came to money too, like, I'd never, like, lived this, like, luxury lifestyle or, like, you know, like, the normal, quote, unquote, like, how people grow up. Like, I feel like it was very different, and, like, my relationship with money was very scarce, I guess you can say, like and I think now that I'm an adult and I know I'm able to provide for myself, it's almost scarier because I don't wanna let my, like, younger self down, if that makes sense. Like, I've been always like, I am a Sagittarius, and I'm also a Pisces moon, and with those things, like, what I've learned is I dream really big. I live in a very dreamy world, you know? And I feel like especially my younger self, oh my gosh, my dreams were so big. I literally thought I'd be, like, a celebrity right now. Like, I thought I'd be an actor or, like, maybe a musician, like an artist of some sort, maybe a professional dancer, like, who knows? But I also, like, thought I would, I don't know, just, like, have a bunch of money, I guess, is, like, the big thing, and I don't know why I'm so centered around money. I think it's just because I know when you have money, you can make things happen, and, like, you can help others, and you can support yourself without being so scared, I guess. And I feel like more and more recently, I've just been really focused on like the career and trying to make sure that I make money somehow. And even though I have these big dreams and ambitions, I feel like I'm running towards what I think is more realistic. So that's like kind of like a corporate 9 to 5, even though the thought of being in a corporate 9 to 5 like my whole life sounds really suffocating. But also the idea of being like an artist or like trying to create something that's uniquely me is also very scary because I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know what I want to be, you know? And that's again, that's why I'm talking about this is because I just I don't know. I think I go back and forth of like, should I be really focused on what's safe? But then is that even worth being like, is it worth it to be safe? Because also when you're like living when I did work in like a corporate 9 to 5 job, it was very to me at least, I never felt fulfilled. Like, I felt like I was just, like, living almost every single day waiting for the weekend just so I can go out and party with my friends, which was so fun. But, like, every day, like, the 5 days a week that I was working, I was like a zombie. Like, every day felt so, like, draining and, like, I don't want my job to be that. I want my job to be something that's creative, fun, self-expressive, you know? And that's also I feel like why I, like, always go to social media at some point. Like, I'll take breaks and then I come back and, like, post so much, and then I leave again because I'm, like, so scared of, like, I need to run back to what's safe, but then I also wanna run back towards my dreams, you know? And I have this, like, very much push or pull mindset when it comes to doing anything like that. And so that's also been something I've been really, like, pondering and thinking about is It's like I think of, like, that one quote from Call Me by Name. It's like, "Is it better to speak or to die?" And, like, to speak to me is, like, that's me going after my dreams, but, like, to die is, like, going to the corporate world and, like, that being my life all for a paycheck. Like, is that even worth it? Like, I don't know, guys. Like, I really don't know. Like, it's just really interesting too how I know what I want and I know what I could do, but then also I don't because I feel like the reason why I don't is because I maybe there's a lot more doubt inside my thoughts, inside my body than like I'm realizing until maybe right now, honestly. But yeah, that's I guess just been that's been Hunty's thoughts of the week. Is just how can I become my most authentic self and what does that even look like? And maybe that's a question for you to ponder on this week, not to like get scared of, but just kind of I think it is good to think about. Like, are you living for yourself or are you like living for other people? Like what do you want to do with this life? Because it's such a gift and I don't want to take it for granted. And I don't want you to take it for granted either. And like, how can you leave your mark? And what is my mark gonna be, you know? So yeah, that's my thoughts. I hopefully this all made sense. If it didn't, don't you worry. Next week it'll be a strategically planned episode. But yeah, that was my thoughts. I know this wasn't too long, but I think that's all I have to say right now. I think I'm still on that journey of figuring it out, but I do want to put it out there. If you are also figuring it out, don't worry. I get you. And we'll figure it out eventually. And if we don't, maybe that's the whole point too. But regardless, I'm going to ponder on it. I'm going to think about it more. And I'm just gonna see what kind of wisdom and thoughts come up. And if you guys have any, if you want me to talk about it again in another episode, feel free to DM, comment on this video, and yeah. But don't forget to subscribe if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcast, definitely follow and feel free to leave me a 5-star review if you feel called to. Or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel because then you can see all the video content there. And I am thinking about doing some different YouTube videos. So definitely subscribe because there's some things that I've been really working on. So you get excited because I am. And I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys have such a good week and sending you guys lots of love. Bye.